Hello viewers, welcome to the show Perspective Study in Malaysia. We have a very special guest today. At my right, I wanted to introduce Professor Ahsan, Chairman Chittagong University and Chairman NERB. At my second right, we have a very honorable guest from Malaysia, and he is the founder and president of Asia University. At my left, we have Professor Hannan Chowdhury, Vice Chancellor of Primeasia University. At my second left, we have Mr. Sivawalan Krishnan from Manipal International University, Malaysia. And at the end right, we have Jaswinder Kaur from Barjaya University and College, Malaysia. Well, Professor AHSHANUL Alam, what do you think Bangladesh in relation to continue study in a country like Malaysia, what would be the prospect?
Thank you very much for your question. But first of all, let me give salam and best wishes to all your audience. I am sure millions will see this, and they will not miss. They will see the whole program. So, as you know, Bangladesh is trying to give access to most of interested students for higher education. So, we need to see that we can give access with affordable prices and global standards. Nothing to deny for various practical reasons, our higher education, most of the institutions did not still achieve the world standard or even the Asian standard. One of the reason is the exposure, and another reason is the teaching method. We are still with the lecturing and all such conventional methods. So, Malaysia is a country, to our knowledge, they have a very comprehensive plan to make their country the education hub. And to me, most of the Malaysian universities are very well capable of giving a global standard of education. As you know, we have 105 universities private and another 50 public universities. So, we need that most of these students should have experience beyond the border, should have experience of seeing the international working environment. And for this, considering the religion, the culture, the affordability, the standard of Malaysian education system, I look forward that many students, one Honorable Vice Chancellor is here, many students will benefit to design their life to have a better placement in the work field by availing chances like 2+2, 3+1. To make it easy, they can finish their 3 years course with Primeasia University or any other private university or public university, and then they can go to university like Asia University and complete the rest 1 year and have a Malaysian degree. As well as if the parent university agrees and there is a MOU between the two universities, they can have joint certification. So, I see immense potential for Bangladeshi students to go to Malaysia to equip them with all the educational tools to fight for a very good world standard job or career.
Thank you so much for your delivery and the answers that you have spoken very high possibility regarding Bangladesh to continue higher education. Thank you. Once again, I'll come back to you, and it's with our Honorable Dato Professor Ansary Ahmed, founder, president of Asia University. First of all, I would like to thanks to you that you have come here in Bangladesh and also given us the opportunity to have a conversation with you regarding Malaysian study and its collaboration in Bangladesh. So, in this regard, we wanted to know exactly what is your mindset and how you wanted, as a founder and president of a Asia University, which is a very profiled and famed university of Malaysia. What is your thought about it? How you think, how you can contribute Bangladesh in collaboration with Malaysia? Would you have a few words, please?
Thank you very much for having me on this discussion, and I would like to thank Prof just now for mentioning about Malaysia. Actually, he was promoting Malaysia quite well. Just to give you a rough idea of what we are all about, Malaysia has been working on the idea of becoming an education hub for the last 15 years. It's not something new. And we started about almost 15, 20 years ago with training programs, and that's how we started. And right now we have come to a stage where we have got a spectrum of universities in Malaysia. We have got what we call research-based universities, and these are very highly intensive research universities. Then we have the teaching universities. And among the teaching universities, we have a variety of methods of teaching kind of thing. And this is where we come in. We come in the context that we are an international university established under the Asia Cooperation Dialogue, of which there are 35 member countries in Asia. And Bangladesh is one of the founders of this what you call dialogue. And we are a project under the dialogue. So when we were established to bring education to the people of Asia. And to bring education to people of Asia, we need to be as flexible as possible to allow different modalities of teaching and learning. And in this context, we have got students in campus, we have students also studying blended, we have students also studying online. So we give a variety. But in doing so, we ensure that the standards are all the same. There's no difference in quality, whether you study in campus or whether you study off campus. It's just a flexibility of mode of study to fit into your busy lifestyle. Because as you know, people today need to go into lifelong learning, and you have to continuously learn. And therefore, this is where we come in to fill that vacuum of allowing those who have already left what they call the schools to continue learning with us, and also give opportunities for them to upskill themselves. So skilling is a very important aspect of what we do. So another point I think I need to emphasize here is that although our name says Asia University, the E there stands for 8 different meanings.
Right.
It is not a virtual university. It's a university emphasizing on entrepreneurship, on experiential learning, on expanding learning, on effective learning. So the E is just there that we are saying that we are doing 7 different aspects of pedagogical aspects, looking at pedagogy of teaching and learning, and the online or the distance learning is just one methodology of what we are doing. So we're doing 3 different methodologies of learning to give maximum flexibility to learning. So we are filling in that vacuum, and we don't compete with universities which are giving totally in campus. We don't competing with those universities giving totally online. So we're doing a mixture to fit the busy lifestyle.
Thank you so much for your answers and delivery. Whatever you have spoken very high about Malaysian contribution and flexibility towards Bangladesh and its prospect. I'll come back to Professor Hannan Chowdhury, Vice Chancellor from Primeasia University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. He's also a very profile educationist of Bangladesh and having a lot of contribution from Bangladesh to the global platform as well. Professor Chowdhury, thank you for coming to the shows and making the shows more enchanting and splendid. What do you think about Bangladesh student to study abroad, more precisely in Malaysia, according to your philosophy? Could you elaborate and state?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me in this August gathering of academicians and also the elite people in the academia from both within country and also from Malaysia. And thank you also Bangla TV for inviting me, for giving me the opportunity to talk about a little bit about the collaborative education, especially the country perspective of Malaysia, that Malaysia and Bangladesh, whether they can collaborate in terms of giving sort of opportunity to Bangladeshi students to go abroad, specifically in Malaysia. Let me first explain a little bit about the country perspective of our country. Bangladesh is a country where actually we are producing 1.2 million students every year. They are actually crossing their 12th grade or HEC level, degrees. These students truly need to enter into the higher education stream. As Professor Alam has already mentioned, that we have 105 private universities and also around 45 to 50 public universities. Despite being heavy universities we do not have capacity wise a larger volume that we can hold. So every single year we see that while there are plenty of students from this country are going across the world, and also specifically in a country like Malaysia. At this moment, Malaysia is having around 28 to 30,000 students from Bangladesh. So I think in that respect, today's discussion that we are having here in regards to Malaysian education for Bangladeshi children is something very important and very vital. In my view, the way I see the education system of our country, we are yet providing degrees sort of giving degree for the sake of providing degree. We are not yet giving degrees in terms of skill that are truly very relevant in the upcoming days, and therefore, it is very essential for us to send our kids in overseas where the universities or the education sector are truly embedded with the industry driven degree that they are actually focusing on. In that respect, the Malaysian government, both public and private universities, the government has emphasis heavily on infrastructure of the universities and also the intellect base and the technological support. I think for Bangladeshi students has a great opportunity to go there in that respect, because it is close proximity, and in terms of our culture, food choice, and also other practices, Bangladeshi people are more comfortable in that environment. In that regard, I think the attraction from the Malaysian universities to the Bangladeshi children are truly good, and it is very compatible as opposed to the Western countries where it is very expensive for some of our children to go to overseas like in US, Canada and many other countries. In my view, we see that there are different categories of students in our country. We have high end product of the students, those who are going to the top nations every year, and also in relations to their merit and also financial capabilities, the students are going across the world. And Malaysia is also getting a segment, a proportion of that stake. I think the prospective students, those who are going to be intended to go Malaysia, they must try to select their program which is going to give them opportunity to add value. Value addition is something very important, and we really need to give guidance to our children that you should focus on the degrees or skill development which is going to truly make yourself a transform, a converted individual, and who is going to be highly valuable in the job market. Bangladesh is not in that condition that we can actually hold all our graduates in the job market. We really need to focus to produce our graduate, that our graduates are going to be globally saleable. So these students are going to spread neighboring countries and many other countries across the world, and they are going to eventually be able to develop their own career. They are going to bring knowledge and ideas and technology for this country to develop. Bangladesh is truly intending to become a developed nation, and in 2041 Bangladesh government has taken a strategy that this country is going to reach to the next step. We simply cannot go to the next state until and unless we make sure that our human resources are going to be trained and converted, and they are going to be transformed, and that's what should be the key of our direction. I think Bangladeshi government and also people like us, those who are related in the academia, they need to focus and give guidance to students, those who are studying in this country. They get the right kind of degrees, and they can become also a human resource, potential human resources for our national development. And at the same time, while we cannot hold that many students or graduates within the country periphery, we should send our kids in overseas so that they can also grab the international job market and bring foreign currency and ideas for this nation. That's how a nation has to go forward. And in that respect, I must agree that the elite academicians from across Malaysia today here in Bangladesh, this is going to be a beginning, a good beginning for us, so that we can see that in future Bangladeshi students even step into Malaysia with good scholarships, good opportunities and good facilities. That's what I am hoping at the very beginning of today's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your well elaborated experience and answers that you have highlighted here, and I'll come back to you again. Mr. Siva Balan,
Yes.
representing Manipal International University, which is one of the famous university of Malaysia and contributing to other part of the world as well. And so far I know that you have got 4 or 5 branches, if I'm not wrong, right? So what is your mindset about Bangladeshi student in respect to Malaysia, and what is your expectation? Could you elaborate, please?
Okay, first of all, thanks for inviting me from Manipal International University, Malaysia. to represent the education Malaysia in this forum. What I can see in Bangladesh, okay, I'm traveling this country since 2013. Okay, when I'm seeing this country is actually year by year, a lot of prospective of students are coming out from this country. They're looking for abroad studies, mainly for the, not only for the studies, also for the skills and technologies. When they study in Malaysia, Malaysia itself is a well-developed country, and we are receiving a lot of foreign investments to build their plants in Malaysia. I can always tell the students that this is the most happening place in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, where we are actually getting a lot of investment from US, Japan, and then Australia to come and set up their plants in Malaysia. So when students coming and studying with us, so they get opportunity with the studying with the latest technology, with the opportunity of the internship. Okay, like our programs in Manipal International University, what we are offering from any diploma or degree programs, we are offering them internship, minimum 3 months to 6 months. So when these students are coming to us, they not only get the scroll of the certificate, they also got experience. Just imagine if these students are going for the workforce, okay, when they going to any companies, these companies, when during the interview, they're going to ask their students, do you have any experience? So this student can proudly tell, I got a 6 months experience, okay, internship experience in US based company in Malaysia, which is actually is a very good for their CV, and then they can look for a job which is not only in Malaysia or back to in Bangladesh. They can able to work in globally, any countries they go, they got a chance to work. So this is actually the acceptance of the Malaysian certificates and degrees everywhere in the world. So this opportunity that we are giving to students, we are trying to explain to students, and then we are actually sharing our knowledge, what we are actually from Malaysia and what we are experiencing. Okay, we are giving the same experience to the students. By sharing our experience and giving exposure for the students from Bangladesh, actually we are opening up doors for them to go global market through Malaysia. So that's why we are here, and then we hope many students will come forward and then will get our advice, and then with the good collaboration with the local Bangladeshi universities, we are actually very happy, so that we can have not only collaboration, we also can look into the semester exchange programs, or else we also can look into the cultural exchange programs, where my students also can come here to Bangladesh University to experience this culture, and your students also can come over to Malaysia as well.
Thank you for your splendid answers, and precisely you have informed the prospect. I'll come back to you again. Ms. Jaswinder Kaur, representative from Barjah University College. My question to you is, this is your first time visit to Bangladesh, and you have participated in an education expo. So how do you find the Bangladeshi student? They interact, and what can be their prospect according to your looks? How you think?
First of all, thank you for having me, Bangla TV, and I'm very happy to be here today. And as we are going along in education, we are opening to Bangladeshi students, and we want to have them come and experience our Malaysian education. I think they are very good in communicating, and I believe that they can grow further, because they are going to be the future leaders of the country. So with that, we as a Malaysian university, we would like to invite them to come abroad and open up their minds of what actually education is in abroad, you know. And we are also we are from Primeasia University. I'm from Primeasia University College, and we are specialized in hospitality and tourism. And this is one industry that is a booming industry. So with that, we urge or we hope Bangladeshi students or any other countries can come to Malaysia as their stepping stone, and then from there they move on to another country.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you so much once again, and we'll get back to you. And Professor AHSHANUL, my question to you is, we have gone through all the prospective participators here, and they shared their information, and our Honorable Dato is sitting beside, and with wide experience. How do you see that if Malaysian university landmarks in Bangladesh, and with their collaboration, what can be Bangladesh student will be getting in the future platform?
Thank you very much. What is the standard of our education? What is the demand for overseas degree? I will just make one statement. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, 21 years, 22 years, 23 years, 24 years, 25 years, 26 years, 27 years, 28 years, 29 years, 30 years, 31 years, 32 years, 33 years, 34 years, 35 years, 36 years, 37 years, 38 years, 39 years, 40 years, 41 years, 42 years, 43 years, 44 years, 45 years, 46 years, 47 years, 48 years, 49 years, 50 years, 51 years, 52 years, 53 years, 54 years, 55 years, 56 years, 57 years, 58 years, 59 years, 60 years, 61 years, 62 with my son and daughter, I have sent them to Duke, United States. You will see most of the ministers, MPs, the top bureaucrats, their sons are all going abroad. It's not that our education is bad, it's that education is a lifetime process now. To combat the competition in the workplace, to combat in the global business arena. So, after even graduating, a private university or my student, he doesn't feel that his thirst is quenched. He feels something he has not yet attained, and that calls for a overseas experience, overseas exposure, technology based education and IT based education. So, he has given data, how big is the market and how big it can be if you give a data of the students going to India, studying in India, everybody will be engaged. So now what we think that Bangladesh, we are all working how we can upgrade our education. There are debate of bringing foreign teachers, but I think we will really press hard to the Prime Minister that even the education minister, so that these formal structures, very old structures, nothing new, that 2+2 or 2+1 for universities with 3 years graduation, and these things are very feasible and it can start right from tomorrow. And because
is there any restriction or embargo?
No, only the restriction is there is 2 problems. One is awareness, and one is when we, the Vice Chancellor will know or will agree, when we see our students, we see at least 3 types of student. One type of student, they are really serious, they want to be somebody in the world, they want to learn who is Bill Gates, how he became Ford, something like this. Another type of students only comes to gather certificates. Another type of students only they are very delayed, they go abroad and they are not serious. So, if we consider the serious student, generally they do not have language barrier. The second type and the third type, they have less command on English. So, especially the O level and A level students, they have no problem of taking 1, 2, 3 years here and then go to Malaysia
and conclude the final education.
Or even do their bachelor here and go to Malaysia for the masters,
for the postgraduate.
Yes, and then the offerings now, the in-campus and blended or hybrid, these are all bonus for them, that they can even make the education cost cheaper. But I want to say that there is still a knowledge gap. Our students really do not know, and they think that the Malaysian universities, they may be egoistic, they may not be cooperative mapping the syllabuses, and they may not give us some credits which we may deserve. So there is a gap of information. Number 2 is a English language barrier which can be taken care of foundation courses. These are not very clear to my students, and I think I especially president of the university is here and another 2 distinguished guests is here. I think you have to address this thing, that and Mr. Kaisar can do this bridge, he can bridge the gap, so that you can really make aware that deserving students and serious students are welcome to Malaysia.
If Chittagong University, since you are the chairman, if you wanted to collaborate with Asia University, what would be your first preference and why?
You see, number 1, as far as our students are concerned, what I will just see, there is a word, say, what they teach in Harvard and what they do not teach in Harvard. So, what I teach in Chittagong University and what I do not teach in Chittagong University. Definitely, I would love my students after completing their 3rd year, go to a Malaysian university, and those who want even a fast track, they can complete here second year and go to a 3 years program. And so as I know that my students are good, at least 40% of my students have the standard of studying in any Asian universities. But they have a problem, that is language, and we can sort it out. We can tell them that take the courses,
English course and lot of other IELTS course and other
English
things.
courses. But there must be a closer rapport as the Indian universities they have. I am very point blank. The Indian High Commission, the Indian Assistant High Commission in Bangladesh are more proactive than my Malaysian friends in your High Commission here. I am very close to them because I sponsored the Malaysian army officers. They come here for defense services command and staff college for the PSC. So I am at times made their local guardian. So I have very close relationship with the Malaysian High Commission. They are very friendly, but the government of Malaysia should now tell them to be as proactive as the Indians. You choose your language, but you can say, Professor Alam, you choose your language, you don't have to use my language, but you can tell them the Professor Alam advised us, suggested that our High Commission has to be more proactive like the Indian who is taking the big stream of students studying in America. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Dato Professor Ansary Ahmed, I have specific question to you. As long as my knowledge says, in Bangladesh, every year, through the stats, if you Google in the stats, we notice that Bangladeshi student in abroad, particularly in Malaysia, they're going 16,000 to 28,000 yearly stats from us, a huge crowd there. And seems that almost the Malaysian universities there, out of 4 are Bangladeshis in each universities. That's being in the statistics. My question to you is, why Bangladesh taking Malaysian study and Malaysian education as a dreamy destination, and what is the insights?
Thank you again for the question, and I'll try to answer both at the same time. I've got the idea of it. There is a saying in Malaysia, we have a slogan for a long, long time. Malaysia is truly Asia. And if you come to Malaysia, you get the truly Asian experience. I think that's number one. Number two is, we have over the last 20-25 years have been on this road of getting ourselves to be more and more quality assured, more and more excellent in the way we are delivering our program at the higher education level. And we have come to a stage now where we are competing with the top nations in the world already. We are now number 6 in the world as far as foreign student destinations are concerned. So we are now just below the league of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK and US kind of thing. So we are there. So among the Asian countries now, we are just behind China. China is now taking a large number of students for many reasons. And that's normal. Whenever there is a new superpower, people will flock to the superpower for obvious reasons kind of thing. But if you're talking of what Professor Aslam mentioned earlier, you're talking of culture, you're talking of comfort, etc. kind of thing. Malaysia gives you the kind of quality education you're looking for at a very affordable rate. I think affordability is a very key, question here, because if you look at, you can get a similar kind of education but a very much higher cost at one of the top 5 compared to what you're getting in Malaysia. Now coming back to what was mentioned just now in terms of how can we collaborate and work together kind of thing. I do not see it as a one-way. As a university established under the Asia Cooperation Dialogue, we are actually a project under the Foreign Affairs Ministry. So we have very, very close links with various embassies and high commissions that we have. And I met the High Commissioner here as well when I came here. So our job is basically to say that it is a two-way, it is a win-win kind of collaboration. Rather than, it's a one-way system, you come to me. There must be some benefits for you, for Malaysia and Bangladesh to work together. Benefit not only at the governmental level, but societal level, and also at the student level and institutional level. So it's got to be benefit throughout kind of thing. So the way we discuss and we work collaborations is that we try to make sure that we understand each other's needs, and we try to fulfill those needs as closely as we can. So in today's world, learning is lifelong, all right? And if you look at what they call McKinsey's report that came out about 10 years ago, war on talent. There's a huge war on talent. Everybody's looking for the best of the best. And we're talking the best of the best is not just in terms of having a good degree, but also in terms of personality, character, in terms of the values that you bring, etc. kind of thing. And we Asians bring different kind of values compared to non-Asians. Yeah. So I think that what you call value system is also a very important aspect of what we are trying to give onto our students. So apart from that is knowledge, and very important now we're talking of skills, upskilling, and we're talking of skills which are relevant for the future, not skills which are needed in the past or even present day skills, because all reports are showing that with the advent of artificial intelligence, with big data, etc. kind of thing, in the next 5 to 10 years, today's graduates who are coming out don't know what jobs they're going to go into. So we as what you call higher education providers, we have to now prepare our graduates for jobs that don't exist. We don't even know what kind of job is going to be there. So what are the kind of knowledge and cognitive skills, as well as what you call learning skills we need to give them in order for them to prepare themselves for this uncertain world, the future world, where the demands are totally different from what it is today. When 5G comes in, it's going to change our lifestyle completely. So are we preparing them for the 5G world kind of thing? So I think in this context, there are many things that, you know, the Bangladeshis can learn from Malaysia. At the same time, I think there are many things that we Malaysians can learn from Bangladesh, so that we all learn from each other and we compete globally together.
Thank you so much for your elaborated answers that will give so much to Bangladesh, wider aspects. My question to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Hannan. You noted all the participants, they spoke very high, and there is a good prospect for joint collaboration for Bangladesh and Malaysia. Now, according to you, if Malaysian University landmark here in Bangladesh, as Professor Alam and our Honorable Dato, Professor Ansary said, there is a huge prospect, and Bangladesh will earn and learn a lot of knowledge and education. So, you give your thoughts about more innovative and creativity that can be added up as added value, and what it can be finally, in which platform it will lead to.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We all are living in a very connected world, all right? And nowadays, no matter where we stand, actually, we can get the information from any corner of the world to any parts of the world. It is very possible. So we are actually floating in an environment, in a situation that information is actually floating anywhere to anywhere in the planet. And therefore, it is very important for the future generation of the students to search and to dig where they are going to get the best education for themselves to be sellable in the upcoming marketplace. What is happening in our country is actually we are not producing the right kind of graduate that are truly very important. Even in our country's situation, the industry floor, the business and the corporations that we are actually heading towards, our graduates are not compatible in terms of working in that dimension. And therefore, it is very essential for us to think from our side, from the supply side, because as we all agree that Bangladesh has enormous number of students and graduates, and this country is truly considered to be one of the young country which is going to remain young for next 30 to 40 years, because the median age of Bangladeshi people is 26.7, and therefore, this nation will be young for another 30-40 years. That means we will be producing enormous number of graduates, those who are going to go to the global market for education. And now that the question when it comes that where we are going to send our kids, as Professor Alam has actually mentioned, that Bangladesh has different way of supply side. We have different stream of education in the bottom level. Our primary education, Bangla medium, English medium, and Bangla and English medium, then Arabic and also English pure medium are there. So we are actually producing an enormous number of students from different stream, and these stream of pool of students, they go in a platform after their 12th class, and these students are ready for entering into different marketplace. Malaysia has also a stake over there to get or to attract some of our students. That's very sure. That's very very pertinent also. Bangladesh and Malaysia has traditionally a very good relationship in terms of education. There are times that Malaysian used to come to our country and to get the degree like medicine and other high degrees over here. There are times that actually goes right now that we see Bangladeshi people are going there because they have built the infrastructure and given emphasis and also invested in the education sector to train their own people and also to bring people from the neighboring countries and also across the world. So, that strategy from the Malaysian perspective, I think very right, and from our part we really need to focus on that well.
Thank you for your good answers and elaboration. I'll come back to you again. My question to Mr. Krishnan.
Yes.
Representing Manipal International University, what is in your mind that how you can contribute Bangladesh, and what is your expectation from Bangladesh, both?
Okay, thanks again. Okay, I would like to give some sort of solution that problems raised by the professor just now. Regarding just now, he told us that students find very difficult in terms of credit transfer, and then they couldn't get a clear picture. So that's why the universities are here. Universities are here to collaborate with these local Bangladeshi universities. The reason is because if one student come to us, bring his syllabus, and then we have to match it, okay, and another student come from another university, we are going to match it. So of course the study hours, the credit hours, the content of the subjects, which might be not equal to at least 80% for us to do the credit transfer. So that is the issue. So the reason we are here actually is to collaborate directly to the university and to do the credit matching, so that both parties win-win situation, so that your degree students can come. I can guarantee the students can come for the second year or third year in my universities after completion 2+1 or 2+3 in our university. In terms of the another information that Prof raised also regarding the embassy's involvements, my suggestion is we already have an organization under Ministry of Education called Education Malaysia, which is the department which is streamlining all these universities and then the issues that the student facing in Malaysia. So I would like to Bangladeshi universities to come to Malaysia to work with this Education Malaysia to see what is a collaboration they can make with them, so that this will be ease the jobs of the local universities here. By going to the embassy, they can go directly to the Education Malaysia section to solve all these issues. And thirdly, about these students, the other issues pertaining in terms of the right information they should get. So for that purpose, that's why we need people like Arona here. Arona International, they are doing very good job, and they are arranging this kind of sessions, which is the student must get the right information at the right time, and then the in terms of the cost of living, in terms of credit transfer, in terms of the collaboration, which is the right university to go and what kind of program should take for future. So this kind of advisors really playing a good part in terms of the assisting the students of Bangladesh to come to Malaysia. That's all.
Thank you so much, Jasvinder Kaur. What is in your mind that Barjaya can contribute to Bangladesh student particularly?
Okay, thank you for the question. Berjaya emphasize more on to personal development. So when you have your personal development, we teach you on communication and so on. So for me, if we can have the students coming to Berjaya or any other universities, and it broaden up your mind on the communication and a better view of Malaysia and Bangladesh.
We are at the final episode now at this moment, and I would like to get information from more precise information from Professor Alam, that the collaboration between Bangladesh and Malaysia, which can benefit both the republics, and since we are a friendly country and we have a strong relationship with both the republics, what would be your concluding remark?
Oh, just in one line. That is, to sum up, Dato has given his opinion and this guest has given his opinion. But in demand side, when you talk about demand, there is demand, present demand, and you can fulfill the demand. and we call latent demand. So, the latent demand, the big chunk of students is not going to contact your ministry, Malaysian Edu. As far as Malaysia's interest to attract more students from this brotherly Muslim country, definitely the education provider will have to be more active than the consumers, those who want to study there. And last but not least is, again I will ask the people like him who are experienced to organize more meet and greet and more exchange of views to explain how the opportunity of going to Malaysia is broadening every day in every way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all the participants that we exchange information and there are a lot awaiting more, and I would like to take your conveying message regarding Bangladesh and Malaysia. What would you think? How would Asia University will contribute in the future platform? As I know that you have already engaged with few universities in partnership and collaboration, and you are thinking to expand your branching here in Bangladesh. So please convey your message to viewers and Bangladeshi students so that they can choose the right dreamy destiny and go forward.
For me, in my context, because we were established as an Asian university with the founding fathers had this dream that we should be catering for the people of Asia. I think engaging myself in Bangladesh is something that I must do. It's part of our mission of engaging ourselves. We have been engaged in about 21 countries already, so now we're coming engaging ourselves in Bangladesh. And in terms of engagement, we just don't see it only at the student level, we see it also at the academic level, we also see it at the staff level, meaning non-academic staff level. So you see engagement at all levels, including institutional engagement in terms of research, etc. kind of thing. So I think engagement here, it should be a two-way process kind of thing. It's not just us coming to sell, that's not our business basically. We're coming to engage, to be involved together for the development of both our nations. I see a lot of potential in terms of engagement in all areas. And in the short time that I've been here, I can see there's a hunger also for this internationalization and engagement. So this is something which is very positive, something that we went through many years ago, and I think something that will help both countries and particularly help Bangladesh in the sense that it will raise your standards as well. Because what I'm hearing too is that there's a mismatch of graduates coming out what you call employers are looking for. So how do we raise and narrow that gap, because what industry requires for, etc. And I think this is where we can help in whatever little way that we can help. Secondly, in the context that the engagement should also be something that we do together for others in Asia as well, because I don't see Asia University as something coming here only to be Bangladesh, because I've got also another program, international program, which cuts across a few countries, where we bring each country's case studies into the program. So I'm sure there are many case studies in Bangladesh which other countries can also learn from. And this is something which I think is very important, because that gateway is very important, so that people know that there are good things happening in Bangladesh as well. So I think there's good things that are happening in Bangladesh, but the world out there is not aware of it. The academic world is not aware of it. So this is where we come in as a platform to bring that awareness to and that information out as well. So I think this is something that I would like to see happen. I'm looking for more engagements, more collaborations with institutions here, with not just universities, but even with colleges or organizations or what you call institutions involved in training, corporate training, etc. I think there's a lot that we can learn from each other. There's a lot that you can learn from us in terms of technology mediated education. There's something that we can do because we have had many years of doing technology mediated learning and teaching. So this is something that I'm looking forward to. So I hope that that many more will come forward, and we will be engaging ourselves more here. We'll come more often here in order for us to get that engagement, that understanding, that people-to-people contact, that institution-to-institution networking for us to grow together, inshallah.
Thank you so much. People like you are the crying need of Bangladesh. So we appreciate and we welcome you, Vice Chancellor, Professor Hannan, to conclude and convey a win-win message for Bangladesh and Malaysia, so that in the future platform that personality like Dato, Professor Ansary and more would contribute, like Manipal and Barja, big institute comes over to Bangladesh and landmark here and make Bangladesh what the father of the nation thought of, the golden Bengal that can be created. So please.
Thank you. In conclusion, I would like to say that, well, what Professor Ansary Ahmed, Dato, Professor Ansary Ahmed has already mentioned that, well, what we can actually benefit from this collaborative education between Malaysia and Bangladeshi institutions. I think there is a win-win situation would be happening if we put our hands together, and it is going to bring many benefit for our country. And as he mentioned that there are case studies in our country or also in the region that can be shared and gathered knowledge for the knowledge creation purpose, which is going to be truly Asian perspective in the education. And as he correctly mentioned that, well, in the global perspective, as we always say that, well, now that the economic growth and the changes that are happening, this is the time for this part of the world, and this part of the world has to understand that this wave of the economic shift, that is actually a paradigm shift of the economic transaction that is actually coming across this world. This is our time. We need to truly catch that thing in right time, so that we can see that, well, Bangladesh is going to benefit from there, and also country in the neighboring countries. And therefore, we all have to come together in one point, that with all good intention that we are going to be with an open mind, that yes, we are going to provide good education, we are going to provide good scholarships, we are going to give opportunity to the bottom pyramid of the people, those who are neglected in the society and also the community and also in the country's neighborhood. I think this bottom pyramid in the region has to come up, so that we can see a flourish Bangladesh, a flourish neighborhood, and also a flourish Asia. And that is what the way Malaysia is actually thinking as truly Asia. I think Asia has communality in different aspect of our culture sharing, the religion, diversity with unity also is there. So my last comment at this moment for our future graduates or students or career seekers, that you should cross your eyes, cross your fingers, try to figure out that, well, who is giving what and who is doing what, and try to take the advantage of all those great institutions. They are already there, and just go after that one that actually gives you patience, and your patience is going to take you somewhere, and eventually you are going to be an converted individual. And we want to see that all our future generation of the students are going to be heavily transformed, value added, so that we see a beautiful Bangladesh and beautiful Asia. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hannan Chowdhury, for your enlightening message for Bangladesh, obviously, and for Malaysia and the participant here. Right at the moment, we are at the end of the program here, and thanks all the participants that have taken part and contributed their knowledge and information. Particularly, we look forward for Bangladesh to have a golden prospect in field of education, and we need more foreign collaboration like Malaysia. They are coming forward, and with this hope we end this program, and we feel that in the next episode we will have more participation of foreign collaboration and specialists, and we'll continue.